Welcome back to Switchcast Live. Thank you for joining us. I'm your host, Doug Tabbitt, founder of Switch Cars, and Switchcast is the podcast where we seek to educate, edify, and entertain you on the drive of your life. And depending on the week, sometimes it leans heavily towards one or the other. But let's be honest, we all got plenty of education in high school and college. So anyway, this season we've been focusing on topics that help you be smarter buyers, sellers, and owners of cars and increase your enjoyment of the whole process. So we're having a lot of fun there. And along for the ride here is Ethan Huffnagel, the producer, and Tyler Sanders, the Ed McMahon to the Johnny Carson. I'm greatly overstating my qualifications there. But,
and probably mine too, let's be honest.
How do you feel about that title?
It's
he made it up.
I did.
So
I think you made it up. You great.
I was
you blessed me
homeschooled. I didn't watch Johnny Carson, so I don't know who Ed McMahon was.
Look, I just enjoy being here and hanging out and
Andy Richter
consuming a
to his
beverage.
Conan.
Yes.
There you go.
Anyway, thank you for those of you that are joining us live on YouTube, TikTok, and Facebook. We appreciate interacting with you, and feel free to throw those questions, comments, smack talk, whatever, into the comment flow, and we'll do our best to address them on air. And for the rest of you hearing this in a produced, recorded version later, we appreciate you as well, and we're glad that you listen to us. So a little bit of automotive news to kick off the night. One is that the Mercedes CEO has announced again that AMG won't be bringing back the V8 for their E-Class and C-Class cars.
Womp womp.
Which they said a couple years ago, and then they skyrocketed in value, and then they kind of tanked in value again this year, and then he announced it again. So, maybe it's true.
It's a great tactic.
Maybe it's like the GTR, it's final year.
We promise this
real.
Special edition is the last one.
Right. Challenger Hellcat Last Call Edition.
Yes. Last call for real this time, version 2.
Michael Jordan is retiring. But no, for real. He said they're not coming back, and that makes sense. Everybody's going to 6-cylinder and 4-cylinder turbos and hybrids, and I guess AMGs were already turbos. They were just giant 8-cylinders with
sometimes
turbos
12.
also. Yeah, a couple of giant spools on that block. Anyway, so it makes sense in lieu of impending stricter CAFE regulations and just the global move towards green power and being concerned about the environment and what comes out of our tailpipes. So it's probably going to happen. So if you want a V8 AMG, go out and buy one now.
Heck yeah.
Yeah.
We do have, from before the stream again, we've got a super chat already to ask you a question. So this is from Fanfic Rocks, our good friend from, was it last week or the week before?
I feel like he's been on a handful of times.
My human really loves us. I mean, they're like throwing cash at us, and I'm all here for it. This one is $100 Australian dollars.
You need to have like Monopoly money behind the camera as a visual effect for those watching
just keep
live.
Tossing it.
That like, oh, we got a super chat, and just
I'll do ones if it's little bits of money. Fanfic Rocks come in. I'm going to break out the the 500s or something.
There you go.
So the confetti gun, like.
Yes, just fill that with Monopoly.
Do we have the budget for a confetti gun?
Yes, we do.
Okay,
You're in charge of the budget. I don't know.
If we don't, then Monopoly money.
One or the other.
So Fanfic Rocks with the massive super chat. Thank you very much for that. Good day from Australia. Just a technical question. With the Mercedes-Benz AMG.
I should ask somebody else.
So with the McLaren,
we don't really know anything here. I'm sorry that we've strung you along for this many episodes.
We know some things.
Some things. The rest we make up.
So they're asking about the Mercedes-Benz AMG McLaren car, or the SLR McLaren. Yep.
Yes.
They say, I think
Hold on,
that
I'm
is
on
what
Wikipedia
Ed had.
real quick.
Rapid typing. I'm trying to give you time to figure this out, Doug. So they're asking, what type of car is it, shape-wise? Because I think of it as a long-nose car, same with similar AMG cars of the time.
What type of car, shape-wise?
Yes.
I mean, I don't know if I should answer that. It's very Ace and Gary. Let's put it that way.
We already trying to get canceled.
Is that a technical car design term?
I don't think so. We can make it up, though.
Yeah. If you see the compensating vehicles in cartoons, that have kind of the. I'm beating around the bush here, proverbially. Yes. The I'm just gonna say the phallic shape.
Yeah.
Like that's the SLR is kind of like that.
It's got such a long,
easy.
Situation going on.
Yes. Yeah. I mean, is there like a design class? Is there a bunch of technical terms I'm supposed to know?
I'm not sure. I mean, it is like mid-engined is where the engine is. Isn't that mid-engined though?
No,
like,
it's
still
front
just
engine.
reversed. I thought it was behind the front axle. The engine was behind the front
axle.
axle.
Still in front of the cockpit.
Yeah.
Nobody's
can still
ever
be
called
mid-engine.
an engine behind the front axle mid-engine.
Oh, a lot of people have. I'm pretty sure the other Doug on the internet has.
Okay,
said it too.
fine. Then why are we still calling the 911 a rear engine car? Because for like 3 generations, it's technically been above or / in front of the rear axle, whereas a rear engine car is supposed to be behind the rear axle. So the 911, the modern 911, is a quote unquote mid engine car.
It's like a gray area though. If it's not entirely over the axle into the middle of the car.
Center line.
Dan says it's based on center line. Cool.
Chat, is that true? Let's see what they say.
Oh, are we crowdsourcing an answer to this? That's dangerous.
Might as well.
Okay, so it's mid-engine, but it's in front of the cockpit. Would that be like mid-engine fore cockpit as opposed to mid-engine aft cockpit? Like,
sure.
Okay. Cool.
But yeah, I'm not sure what else.
I don't know why anyone needed my opinion on that.
Chat's weighing in and saying, yes, it's center line.
Oh, hey.
There you go.
Dan Doucette does, in fact, know some things.
You know, I was going to be a car designer, but I failed out of engineering school, so
there you go.
You're all getting a clue right here as to why I wasn't a car designer.
That's a good super chat.
Love it. So thank you again, Fanfic Rocks. Love to see you back in chat.
You should probably get like 2 for the price of 1 with that one. So if you want,
to throw another question in.
Go for it. So on a highly technical level as well, I found this website. You may think this is a joke, and it could be, but it's serious. Vegan cars, how to find a leather-free interior. Shopping for vegan cars can produce some frustrating moments because leather is commonly included in option packages.
So not required.
Right, but if you upgrade for nicer stereo or sport suspension, what vegan wants a sporty suspension? You're often upgraded, quote unquote, to leather seats or a leather steering wheel. Ethical considerations aside, leather is a terrible automotive upholstery. It's cold and hard in the winter, slick and hot in the summer.
Why is it slick?
And can be ruined by rain or a spilled drink. And why on earth would anyone wrap a steering wheel in leather? That's just icky.
That's an opinion.
Icky is a very Karen word. So I don't know about, like, leather is actually great, and it's highly durable if you take care of it properly. I don't know what the heck they're talking about. It's not suede, but
Rivian actually prides itself on having vegan leather is what I believe Rivian calls
it. Actually leather then?
No.
I mean, I don't care what they call. Like, if the material is good, that's all that really matters. I don't care.
No, yeah, it's not leather. Vegan leather.
There are a number of electric cars, unsurprisingly, that pride themselves on that. So the Ford Mustang Mach-E comes standard with all vegan interiors, including a vegan steering wheel. Let's see. Tesla used to have a leather-wrapped steering wheel, but they got wise to their demographic. Let's see. Volvo, the company, wants to make all cars leather-free by 2030, although it intends to continue offering wool blends.
Shame
Same
on
thing.
them.
Only Volvo. No, but the best part is, let's see. Oh, yes. You may have to cross certain cars off your shopping list in order to avoid leather. If that's the case, be sure to email the manufacturer that they've lost a sale.
That'll show them.
That's the best thing.
That'll show them.
It's almost like vegan interiors are more of a marketing thing. It's odd that it's all electric cars.
Yeah. Yeah.
I guess with the exception of Volvo, but
I just like the political, action email of you lost my sale.
To like customer service at your favorite manufacturer here.
Right.
They're definitely going to read that.
Right.
Yeah.
It's like, how do you know somebody's a vegan? because they'll tell you.
Yes.
Okay, serious question here. I want to know how many vegans mow their lawn. Right? If you're all about not using animal products and not having any animals suffer or die or whatever, even though most animal products, they don't suffer, right? Cheese, milk, wool, whatever. Like, that's how these animals are made. Like, they produce these things and whatever. You're not killing them to profit off of it. But, like, if you mow the lawn and you're a vegan, you're a total hypocrite.
Can you show your work?
Here we go.
Well, no, I'm serious. So I'm Mr. gasoline burning, meat eating redneck, sort of. I don't have a camo hat, but yeah, America. But every time I mow my lawn, I feel really guilty because I'm watching like frogs and grasshoppers and butterflies try to hop out of the way. And I'm like, for every 5 that make it out of the way, how many am I chewing up as I just go to have a nice, like, pretty lawn? So, like, this is my challenge, my public challenge to all vegans to stop mowing their lawns. If you really want to, like, get me to go along with your thing, I mean, I'll never go along with it, but to respect your viewpoint, stop mowing your lawn.
Stop mowing your lawn.
You got to be all in if you're going to be all in.
Do you think any vegans listen to this podcast?
If they do, they're not doing the super chat. That's for sure.
We don't know.
We had one. They're gone now.
Oh, yeah.
That's not a demographic. You can't break down. Like, you can see, like, geographic region, gender, age. I don't show you, like, dietary
Guarantee you
restrictions.
Google knows.
Yeah.
Google knows.
Zuck knows.
Well, yes,
we'll get in
because
touch
they
with
fill
them.
out the survey and say, I'm a vegan. Oh, man. Ethan, tell us about how your week went.
Yeah, man. So this was actually, yeah, Ethan goofed up.
I just love your man.
No, it's incredibly frustrating. So this actually wasn't this week, but it may end up still being this week. On the 28th, I was driving down.
Don't say the date. You were allegedly. Come on.
Allegedly,
a day you were.
There was a certain day
driving
that I was
somewhere.
allegedly driving down the hill on Mayfield Road, and on a
Trying to
road.
help
I
this
was allegedly driving
somewhere.
somewhere. I don't even know where. And it was reported by a traffic camera that I achieved a certain speed, which I think is very, very reasonable for what the alleged speed limit was at the alleged location that I was at this
So you
alleged
got a
point in
speed
time.
camera ticket.
I did. There was no. Now
Very
I was
wordy
always
way
under.
of getting to that.
Yeah, exactly.
He's the producer. He's driving up engagement. He's
I was
saying words.
under the impression that a police officer had to be there to write you a ticket for it to, I don't know, count. But turns out I'm wrong, and they can actually catch you on one of these cameras here.
Okay, so question: was it a fixed camera, like one mounted on a pole, or was it a cop with one of those laser guns?
No,
with
no,
the
no.
cameras built in.
This alleged location is known for doing this to a lot of people. So it's on I could probably find the exact, next time I go down there, I can probably find the exact pole that it's mounted on.
Does
but
it have signs before it?
I don't think there's like a radar enforced
I think
or whatever.
they have. I think there's a law in Ohio or whatever, but they have to inform you that they're enforcing
doing
speed
that.
via photo.
Now, I will say I was informed that there was another town nearby in the area. There's a few that do this. And I was telling the guys before the show began, there's one in Walton Hills where the speed limit is, I believe, I think it's like 40 or 45 at this point. And they started, the plan was they were going to ticket people at 15 over. But then no one was going 15 over, so they dropped it.
The speed
they
limit?
dropped it to like 11 or 12
Yeah.
over, and that's what they ticket people at now.
Because it's a money grab.
Of course it is.
So what I've been told, this is not legal advice, but a friend of mine who is an attorney has gotten some of these tickets, and you know what he does?
What's that?
He puts them in the circular file, which is a geriatric term for he throws them away.
Yeah.
Shreds them. Because, it's not a moving violation. The worst they can do is send you to collections. It's a civil violation. And they may or may not And yeah, so he just throws them away. We got one recently. My wife did. She was highly embarrassed. I made a lot of light of it. And I said, just throw it away. Get rid of it.
And how long ago?
Nothing happened.
Yeah, right.
Granted, it was in the name of our trust, so it's like, well, how do you even know who was driving? Right? And then they want you to say, like, oh, if you weren't driving, send us the driver's license of the person who was.
They do.
I'm going to narc somebody else out.
Yeah, it's pretty great.
Just download one off the internet from those scammers. Be like, here, this guy, Chuck Norris, was driving my car. Ooh, that would be fun to mess with them.
I've never thought about that.
You can get fake IDs. How much easier would it be to just get like one that you have a photocopy of that you mail to them?
I think this could be a good like side hustle for. Remember in Breaking Bad, that guy Jimmy In-N-Out, who his whole job was he would go to jail for other people.
Yeah,
there should be a guy, and his whole point, like his whole identity, is you like fill his name out on these tickets. And
Wesley Snipes was driving my car.
Yes, yeah.
McLovin.
Just
send him McLovin's driver's license.
I love the audacity that they're like, just tell us who was driving. It'll be fine.
Right.
We'll give them a ticket.
Yeah.
They act like they're doing you a favor, too. They're like, no points on your license. We're not going to report it to the Department of Motor Vehicles. And it's like, man, but you like took the time to mail this to me. And again, so I got this yesterday, and this allegedly happened 2-ish weeks ago was the date that they claim that this happened. So, like, who knows how many times since then I've been trucking down this hill. And
sure.
I don't, because I don't know if I'm speeding or not.
Well, and speeding tickets are supposed to be, if you listen to a good police officer, speeding tickets are supposed to be like corrective, behavior modification. So they're basically saying, well, you're doing something wrong. The ticket is a consequence such that you will change your behavior.
Right.
And some cops will say, well, if I can determine that the person doesn't need a ticket, like that's not going to change their behavior, that a warning will actually cause them to change their behavior. And it's like, the same principles we use with our kids. Like sometimes we discipline and sometimes we show grace because different actions cause a reaction. So with this, there's no change in behavior because you don't know when you got it. You get it like 2 weeks later and it's like, well, shoot, okay, I'm going to maybe slow down right as I go by that camera.
There, for that like 1/8 mile stretch that I think it's going to catch me. It's just very Big Brother-esque.
Yeah.
I don't know how else
to... Well, it's not about safety. It's about money.
Oh, 100%.
That's the only reason why they exist.
100%. Especially when you hear stories about them dropping what like the qualifier speed is to do that.
They do that with red light cameras too. It's been proven in some places that they will shorten the duration of the yellow light only at the intersections where they have the red light cameras.
Yeah.
Which totally becomes not about safety because then you have more accidents because people are slamming on their brakes. Yeah, it's all a scam.
I'm not a police officer, so far be it from me to weigh in here at all, but I don't know. Pull me over. Just pull me over and write me a ticket.
Like a
don't
man.
Do that either. But
well, don't do that. But if you're not there,
come and get me.
Yeah, come and get me.
Right.
Be there yourself.
Right.
What do I know, though?
What do I know? All right. Let's pay for the podcast.
Yeah. Switchcast is brought to you by Boxcast. Boxcast is a live streaming company based in Cleveland, Ohio, and they serve broadcasters and viewers around the world. Their founders launched Boxcast back in 2013 with one purpose: to make people a part of the experience. If you're looking to live stream your podcast, church service, car show, sporting event, wedding, or even your Cannonball attempt, Boxcast is an easy and flexible live streaming platform for organizations. Boxcast is so easy, in fact, that we're broadcasting this show with a phone. So head on over to switchcars.com/Boxcast for your free trial. And it looks like the Corvette curmudgeon is with us again tonight. Hello.
How's it going?
It's going pretty all right. How are you today?
Oh, fantastic.
Love it.
Fantastic. Ready to get home and drink my Coors Light, though. So let's hurry this up.
Alrighty. So I normally come up with questions to chat with you about. This week I couldn't, and producer Ethan over here is getting pretty frustrated because I was letting the show down. So he wanted to come up with a question. So I think he's going to talk to you tonight.
Yeah, well, it's nice to meet you. I've been here every week, actually, sitting right here next to Tyler. I don't believe we've been formally introduced. Yeah.
You got a low voice coming out of there. You got some long hair. I thought you were a woman over there.
That's fair. Yeah.
You got skinny jeans here and long hair over here. Bunch of friggin' yuppies running this show.
Yeah.
These kids these days.
It's terrible.
Japers.
It's terrible, right? No, but you're an individual who takes care of their car, and there's a lot of talk about the precautions people take to preserve their paint.
Yes. Don't drive it in the rain.
Right. Yeah.
Yep.
First and foremost, don't drive it.
Yep. Don't wash it with water.
Yeah, right.
Yep.
Another thing that you can do that people talk about is ceramic coat your car. Have you ever heard of these ceramic coatings?
What in the Sam Hill's ceramic coat?
Yeah. So it's
Is that something you wear in the winter? You get cold?
Yeah. It's my understanding how this works is it's a clear liquid that you apply, and they claim it's 3 times harder than your clear coat on your car.
Why would you want to do that?
I don't know. You tell me.
Well, what? I don't need to protect it from nothing. It ain't getting dirty.
That's fair. So they also say that one of the benefits is it's hydrophobic, so you don't like to drive your car in the rain, right? So they say that if it were to rain, the water's just going to beat up the mud, the muck, the grime, the scum, the whatever is just going to beat up and roll right off your car. Does that sound fascinating at all? Does that pique your interest?
Nope, never had that stuff on my car.
That's fair.
How much does this friggin' coating cost?
A lot. It's a lot of money.
Like how much?
Well, depending on who you're going to, I mean that can range anywhere from I don't know. Where are we at?
You're
with
not
that?
ready to give
six to.
Why can't you young uns just say
$1,500?
things straight? You running for politics office sometime?
Politics office was not in my plans, no, but it could be. Maybe.
Cool.
So yes, but you've never had any interest in this.
So how much does this ceramic coating cost?
I don't know. We'll just say it could be $900.
$900? That's 2 house payments.
Sure is, man.
What? Who pays for this stuff?
Corvette owners, believe it or not.
No.
C8s.
Well, I got some rich kids buying them C8, so I believe that. Friggin' don't know what to do with their friggin' CoinBet money or whatever they got on them internets.
Yeah, CoinBit money gets you in trouble. Well, hey, thanks for hanging out here and talking all about ceramic coating, but yeah.
Thank you again to the Corvette Curmudgeon tonight, brought to you unwittingly by the Corvette Buy Sell Trade Group on Facebook, your source for cranky boomers, overpriced Corvettes, and reinforced stereotypes. Welcome back, Doug.
Thank you.
That's good.
How was that, Ethan? Doug, did you know Ethan talked to the Corvette Curmudgeon tonight?
I did. I met him. He was great. He was everything I thought he'd be.
Live up to all your expectations?
More or less, yeah. Refresh My Ride on TikTok is saying that they're just lying. All your car needs is hot wax. So, Refresh My Ride. I wonder if he's like.
Isn't that what you get like when you get a massage in the Caribbean?
Some hot wax. Yeah.
Sure, buddy.
They like
The
drip
menu option
candles
at the
on you
spa,
or
not-
whatever it is. Yeah, it's a weird.
Like, what are you talking about, Ethan? Good. You trying to get us canceled?
Does anybody even
No,
use
that's how they
wax
like
anymore
run the
on their
wax
cars?
on you. Use what?
Nobody uses wax anymore. It's all the polymer coatings and ceramic
true.
and PPF and
true.
et cetera, et cetera. Yeah. Somebody asked me, actually selling a Corvette on Bring a Trailer, oh my gosh, it brought out all the curmudgeons. I had 3 super low mileage cars on Bring a Trailer at once, 2 Porsches and a Corvette. And only on the Corvette were they just going on and on about, I can't believe that's original tires. It's where are all the service records on Carfax? How does it have 5 owners and only 870 miles? Oh, the engine needs rebuilt because the seals are all dried out. You're going to need all new hoses. That thing can't be driven. You're going to have to restore the car before you drive it. And I'm like, what is wrong with you people? And like literally concurrently, I have these collector Porsches with super low mileage and nobody is saying a word about any of that stuff. It's just the Corvette people.
I'm surprised that's the situation that the Corvette people start talking about driving their cars. Being really concerned about the reliability. Is this like perfect one?
Yeah. Right.
You've caught them.
Doesn't matter.
It's like vegans mowing their lawn. Corvettes complaining that other people don't drive them. So anyway, speaking of stereotypes about cars, so we have a 911 GT3 here with 13,000 miles and 9 owners. And we've talked in the past about how you shouldn't judge a car based on certain data points, statistics, location, miles, owners, whatever. And this is yet another exception to that rule. And I even looked on Carfaxes. I'm like, probably a couple of them were dealers. Like, it's not 9 actual owners. And I went through. I'm like, yep, it's 9 actual owners. But it is clean as clean gets. No paintwork, full PPF. It's never been tracked. Like, fully up to date on service. No ticky-tack stuff that you get from people not caring about cars. And it just proves once again that the owner metric doesn't matter one bit when it comes to buying a car. Like, you have to evaluate it on condition, period. Somebody in the audience is giving me a look.
Well, I think
like
that
disagreeing or confused.
I think it makes sense if you're buying like a normal car, like a. Uh-oh.
It's a good thing the audience doesn't have a microphone. Anyway, keep going, Tyler.
No, but I think it makes sense for a normal car. Like, if you're trying to buy a daily driver and you're going after some like Ford Focus and it's got 10 owners, there's probably an issue there. But in collector cars and like the kind of stuff you deal with in sports cars, like the cars change hands a lot, like you've mentioned, and maybe they don't put a lot of miles on it or whatever. So that just doesn't really mean anything.
Correct. I once again, I'm judging here, but I'm allowed to do that. I think the majority of car people can't just look at a car and say, that's a good car, or that isn't. So they have to use all these metrics that are pushed upon them saying, this is how you evaluate whether a car is good. And it's number of owners, it's miles, it's whether or not the car was in Florida or California or Ohio or whatever. And none of those things actually have any bearing, but people are unable to look at 2 cars. It's like tasting wine, right? If you do a blind taste, nobody can say, oh, this one's a $100 bottle and this one's a $20 bottle. So if you put 2 cars in front of most car people and covered up the odometer and didn't tell them anything about it and just made them look at them and say, okay, which one has how many miles, how many owners, which one's better, most car guys wouldn't get it right. So, and I played that game with people when I had a high mileage car that was really clean. I'm like, tell me how many miles it has on it. And they're like, oh, 5,000. I'm like, yeah, 80,000. So
If you take care of your car, it'll last.
yes. Speaking of wine, I got to be careful here because I have not interviewed the owner. So I'm purely going off of speculation. But last week or so, we talked about Steve Celine and how the Celine Automotive Company is looking for yet another round of investors, which is kind of sketchy given Celine's background. Multiple restructuring agreements, and China kind of stole their company, and there's a lot of vendors that aren't paid, yada, yada, yada. Like, there's a lot of warning signs there. And I did get another ad for investing in the Celine this week, and it said over $70 million has been invested in this Celine S1 to date, and yet it's still not across the finish line.
Yeah,
but they say, don't miss your chance to be a part of this high-octane investment. Yeah. Ready to supercharge your investment portfolio. Anyway, honestly, what Celine should do is just make it an EV, and then they can get unlimited government and VC funding and still not be successful, but they'll get the funding they need. But there's another company, and there's a little bit of backstory to this. It's Adobe Road Winery, which I have a bottle here. I should have had it for the live viewers. It's actually really, really good wine. Their branding is amazing. But I got an email, and they're looking for this additional round of investors. And goodness, I even got a prospectus. And how is this automotive related, you might ask? Well, the founder of Adobe Road Winery is also the CEO of the Racers Group, which is a racing team, a highly successful privateer racing team. They've run Le Mans and 24 Hours of Daytona, won some of that. I think a couple friends of mine actually won against... Oh, no, they lost to them at Le Mans, and the Porsche GT2 class. Anyway, not the Porsche GT2, in the GT2 class in which they were both running Porsches. Sorry for the Le Mans nerds out there. But if there's anything I know about racing, it's that it's not a great business. It's a great way to spend a lot of money. And if there's very little I know about wineries, it's also one of those, how do you make a small fortune in the winemaking business? You start with a large one. And so, like, the Wikipedia on this guy says, oh, he's this entrepreneur. And I'm like looking at this going, wait a minute. So he started a race team, which is a great way to drain fortunes, and he started a winery. Like, where's the money coming from? But then he's asking for investments for this winery, and they're on their second round of investing. But they don't want to go to banks, right? So they're only going to private investors so that they can give them an opportunity. Everything's worded just, flowery wording, and it was written by a professional. You have this great opportunity to be part of this future, and et cetera, et cetera. And I just remember a principle, I think it's Dave Ramsey says this, when he's talking about people not wanting to loan other people money, and he's advising people not to, or co-sign for them. He goes, listen, if the bank isn't going to loan you money, or if the bank isn't going to loan somebody money, there's a reason for that. You shouldn't loan somebody money that the bank turned down. Now, I don't know if the bank turned down this winery. Maybe this is just their way of doing it. But it's just kind of, I don't know. It makes me nervous when you can't see where the money's coming from and they're asking a whole bunch of people to invest, right? Like Enzo Ferrari built streetcars to fund his race team. And that's the story of almost every automotive company ever. This guy started a race team and he's called an entrepreneur. And I'm like, that's not a profitable venture. And now you have a winery, which is what guys that have billions of dollars do to play with their money. But you're trying to make this a venture. And I'm just like, something smells a little bit. And the funnier part of this is, I'm telling the story in reverse order, but how I got acquainted with Adobe Road was we were at Amelia Island, and they had a big booth set up, and we were just talking with the guys running the booth, and they were absolutely hilarious. They were part-time racers. One of them was a part-time comedian, and Dan Doucette was there, and was it you, Tyler?
Yeah,
so it was the three of us, right? And the wine was awesome. And I was like, hey, how can I buy some of this? Because they've got cool logos, like metallic gated shifter.
Yeah. Wasn't the cork like a shifter ball on
Yeah,
one of them or something?
Everything was really great. And the wine was good. So I'm like, I want to buy some of this and just take it with me. And they're like, well, we can't sell it to you on site. But, the owner's over here, maybe, like, I'll talk to him, see if we can make an exception. We'll get you into the VIP club, whatever. So he comes over, and before he comes over, the guys told us, they're like, hey, so we told them that you guys are like really famous YouTubers. And we're like, okay. So he comes up to us, and within 1 minute, he's pitching us on this investors meeting that he had and how they're all so excited about the 10% gain that they're going to get. And, a bunch of people chose to invest, but they're still like, he didn't say it outright that he was looking for investments, but it was very much implied that you guys are big YouTubers. This is such a great investment. And I'm like, man, this is highly suspicious.
Something was just a little weird.
Yeah. And I'm like, man, that's when you're trying that hard. It's kind of like the people on Facebook said with the Celine S1 ad where Steve Celine is pitching random people on Facebook for investment. The best response ever was, if you need my money, then you're not going to make it.
That's great.
That's like kind of how I feel. Like if you come up to me, a random famous YouTuber, quote unquote, like to get my investment, I'm like, ew. So I don't know. I hope they make it because I love their wine. I love the concept, but it's just another one of these, everything is not as it seems, especially in the car world and especially in the big time racing world, because there's been a lot of guys running Ponzi schemes and big frauds. Scott Tucker, the Farnbacher, what was it, Gregory Lowell's. Like, there's a lot of people that have been trying to keep up appearances and get addicted to that, high lifestyle of racing cars, and do some nefarious things to keep that lifestyle up. And again, I am not making those allegations about TRG and Adobe Road, right? Like, TRG has been a successful racing team forever, and there's no like dirt on this guy that we know of like there is on Steve Celine. It is purely speculation on my point that it's like, why do you need this money, right? Like, if you're this successful, yeah. So anyway, be careful out there, people. Be careful. Anyway, let's go to a commercial, and then let's get to some questions.
Yeah. Switchcast is also brought to you by Celebrity Machines. Celebrity Machines offers more than 250 different screen-accurate license plates as they've appeared in movies and TV shows, such as Back to the Future, Ghostbusters, The Fast and the Furious, Breaking Bad, and so many more. Celebrity Machines also makes our dealer insert plates, as well as our commemorative 2539 plates from the fastest Cannonball run ever. Visit CelebrityMachines.com for more info and use promo code SWITCHCAST to save 25.39% at checkout.
We have quite a few questions left over from last week. We're sorry we couldn't get to them all, but some of them were quite good. So we're going to try a kind of rapid-fire Q&A session here. So Tyler, just go for it. We'll see how see what comes up.
Alrighty, right up, first on the list here is a spicy one from Dirk Diggler. So, I gotta ask, how do you feel about holding the record?
Don't mispronounce that one.
Yeah, nope, almost did a couple of times. How do you feel about holding the record with 90% traffic reduction and 30% police? Like, cops were at 30%. It's like Le Mans with 3 cars and no officials.
He's talking about the Cannonball record, and your stats are quite a bit off. It was typically about 50% traffic reduction, and there was no reduction in cops. In fact, if you want to think about it, if there's a 50% traffic reduction, the same amount of cops, and you're a bigger target. It's like running Le Mans with 8 cars and all the officials. Yes, some of them had, like, don't stop people for anything that's not egregious orders, but let's be honest, Cannonball speeds are egregious.
Just a smidgen, allegedly.
Yeah, and honestly, I don't really have any guilt about it because we held the record beforehand, so we were just getting our record back given the scenario. So, like, I don't know. A record's a record. Did you go out and do it? I didn't think so. So,
boom, mic drop. If Ethan wouldn't have to buy new mics.
Yep. Everybody has an opinion about COVID Cannonball runs that didn't actually go out and do anything. So
turns out on the internet, there's a lot of people with opinions that have no reason to have said opinions. It's kind of weird.
Myself included.
Yeah, I was going to say, all of us, the 3 of us here. Colby asks, did you see the 16th mile drag strip they're opening in Southern California?
1/16th mile drag strip? Well, that's like a Tesla test track. That's the only stat they care about.
Is it just like an empty road, like a block?
Teslas suck, EVs suck. Yeah, but 0 to 60. So it'll beat a Bugatti. Cool story. And they have vegan leather interior.
Ah, perfect. Carl Hunsake, don't know why people were shutting. I think he meant. Am I allowed to say this, Ethan?
Sure.
All right, yeah. Don't know why people were shitting on the Corvette you have. That's cool. You showed him.
I like it better when people misspell stuff when they're trash talking, and then you just pronounce
shutting
it exactly.
on the Corvette.
Shutting on
Okay.
Goodness.
Next.
Mr. Certified, so you know this is going to be legit. Your foot slip off the clutch and do accidental donuts lately? 3 question marks.
Every other day. Left some strips up my driveway in a Challenger Hellcat.
Nice. All right, Jake IV or Jake 4, not really sure which one. NSX is wickedly overpriced and unfortunately overrated in modern times. Do you think the NSX bubble will ever burst?
Well, given that the NSX-R is selling for like $600K, I don't think 125-ish for a regular NSX is overpriced on a relative scale.
Goodness.
The NSX was way ahead of its time, and it's the most reliable 90s sports car pretty much out there, other than, Toyota Supra or whatever. But in terms of exotic looks, it's competing with Ferraris, Lamborghinis, etc. It's the best car to own out of anything of that era. So to say it's overpriced, I don't think so. I mean, you look at the performance numbers, they suck compared to modern cars, but what car in the 90s beats modern cars anyway? Like, we're not evaluating 90s cars based on today's performance. You can't do it. So, yeah.
Sorry.
They're not overpriced. I think
Do
they're
you
great.
think the second-gen NSX will ever reach holy status?
Sure.
Really, though?
Yeah. The
It
R
doesn't
will.
have the, like... Well,
And
yeah,
the
that's-
Zanardi. The special editions will. They kind of already are.
Really? The
Yeah.
special editions?
Yeah.
Okay. Just feel like it lost a lot of what made the original one so great. Like, it just made it like another modern supercar clone sort of thing.
Well, I see the I see the second gen. Okay, so this we're differing. I see the second gen as the 97 to 2002.
Oh, okay.
2003, because that's the 6-speed 3.2. I see the new hybrid one as the third gen.
Gotcha. I
So-
agree on the second gen. The third gen is where I'm like, meh, probably
Okay.
not.
So, yeah. Got to get our terms defined there.
All right, Danny Nunez, you need to make a special guest appearance on Car Trek.
Tell Car Trek that.
So it seems like the wrong place. You submitted your suggestion to the wrong box.
My phone's here. Waiting for that call.
All right,
They can't afford me.
all right, Diesel Huffer 69 will use...
Does he drive a Tesla?
Probably not, actually. I'm going to hazard a guess no. Will used car value go down anytime soon?
It has been going down. In fact, wholesale value has been decreasing about 1 to 1.5% per week for the last 3 months. So, yes.
Goodness. Ford 6.0 liter. I have a question. Thank goodness you're here. What radar detector do you run?
I don't think you need to worry about a radar detector with a 6-liter Ford.
Yeah, what's the 0 to 60 on that? Like a week?
Yeah, depends if you've replaced the head studs or not. Man, help if I could pronounce words when I'm trying to land a joke. Unless he's got like a 6-liter stroked Coyote motor or something like that. No, my favorite one, I do not have any of the brand new ones because I like using detectors that have the GPS programming, and like I want to have them for a few years because then you get all the GPS filters in there and stuff. But Uniden R7, Escort Max 360 are both good. From what I've read, the Uniden R8 surpasses the Escort Redline in terms of the performance. I don't know. I haven't tested them. I like the Escort Max 360 the best out of the ones I've used. The Uniden R7 is almost as good, but the filtering is not as quick to respond. So, but supposedly the R8 is edged out the Escort according to the people I talk to.
The experts.
Right.
There's a few live questions here from
Yeah.
TikTok. JDub357, what do you think of the 2006 Pontiac GTO 6-speed manual for a budget muscle car?
I think, well, it depends what your budget is. I'm guessing that those have, any good ones left have reached enough of a collector status for the 6-liter 6-speed ones that 6-liter 6.2 anyway, that they're not really going to be a budget car, so you probably don't want one that's cheap because a lot of those got beat on. But that aside, because that's speculation, I think it's a great budget sports car. It's a good powertrain. It's a Holden. It's a Holden Monaro. It's not a Pontiac GTO. It's Australian. Australian, mate.
Big Body Salami says,
Oh.
yeah, right. That's a good one. Doug, want to run one Cannonball and set a PR just to say I've done it. How realistic is 35 hours?
I mean, like 80 people have done it faster than 35 hours, something like that. 60, I don't know. Like, so it's very realistic, but that's up to you and your car and what you can accomplish. But yeah, 35 hours is super realistic.
Okay, got some new ones
Although
coming.
I think 35 has been the nemesis of Steve Brown's pickup truck.
Poor guy.
Yeah, he's like 35 and change, can't get under that 35 number. So it can be difficult. Anything can go wrong.
Chris North, thank you for the gift. Will the muscle cars of the 70s ever come down as people who know their rarity die off? Or 80s, he just added.
Yes, I think they will. I think the future in those, and we've talked about that before, is the resto mods, because it's not just the rarity aspect of it. Because, listen, blue chip cars of any era are going to be strong because there's going to be people who will collect them as art, right? So young people will figure out how rare they are. And we saw that at Monterey with some really strong results for brass era cars. But the general sports cars of that era, especially muscle cars, not talking so much about European sports cars, but the general muscle car market for the non-special stuff is going to die off hard because fundamentally the cars just weren't that good. There's some that are making a comeback in the form of resto mods because companies are taking them, like the 55, 56, 57 T-Bird, and they're putting modern drivetrains in them and making them bigger, making them handle properly and brake properly and all the things that you want a car to actually do, and making them usable and livable. And that's driving a whole new segment of demand. And I think there's a small niche of cars that are highly desirable from an aesthetics point that will maintain their value through that resto mod thing. But then the rest of the mediocre cars from the Malaise era are just going to go.
Okay, Keen Fab, going back to Cannonball, says, is there a solo record for the Cannonball run, one driver?
Well, yes and no. There's no official classes for anything, right? Because there's no sanctioning body. So there's a whole host of, I guess, we call them qualified records, right? So there's the record period, and then there's the something record. Solo record, female record, motorcycle record, EV record, no refueling record, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Kind of whatever you want to add. But the solo driver record, single person in the car record, has been kind of a thing since the dawn of transcontinental racing, primarily because of Irwin Baker, because, from whom we get the name Cannonball, because he was so well known for doing solo runs. Now, they may not have been truly solo because a lot of them, he had a mechanic with him or a navigator or something like that, but he was the only one driving. So you could put an asterisk there, I guess, if you wanted. But again, there's no sanctioning body to sort all these things out. So, but one of the most respected qualified records, I guess as we would call it, is the solo record, because we recognize that it takes a whole lot more gumption, whatever, nuttiness, cannonballs to do it by yourself and to stay awake and alert for that long. So yes, there is a solo record. Again, it's not an official thing, but Carl Yummy Dietz, I think, holds it at 27 hours, 54 minutes, which is a bonkers time for solo. He did have the advantage of running during the early days of COVID, so I'm not going to put an asterisk on it, but there is an implied advantage there. But regardless, he would hold the record because it's so much faster than the next time, which is like 33 and change, I think, with Scott Bauer in the Volkswagen Bug.
Yeah, which was also a rental record, right? Or not a record.
It was at the time. Well, there was a Mustang that Travis Hilton and somebody else did in a rental that beat that. I don't know if it was before or after, but yeah. Anyway.
There's a lot of questions here, but I know
Cool.
there's other segments.
Yeah,
that we
so
wanna
let's get to the Scaminator. I've got a good one for Tyler. He gets to guess. So the Scaminator is when we read off some sort of listing or email or whatever, and we have to decide when or how we know it's a scam. So Tyler, you can just yell out "scam." since we don't have the scam button
right,
yet.
we don't
Tyler
have a
hasn't
button.
ordered it yet.
What? That's an Ethan job.
This is an email we got today on a Ferrari. Footnote, pay attention to this. This matters. We are asking $115,000 for the car. Okay. It's actually sitting next to Tyler. Greetings and salutations, my brother in Christ.
All right, I kind of want to say scam right now because that just sketches me out, but continue.
I trust all is well with you and your family.
Scam.
I write to you in search of a modest yet...
You can't even do this.
Can't even do. It's too good.
Brother in Christ.
I don't break during the Corvette curmudgeon. I break now, right? I write to you in search of a modest yet spectacular...
Thank you. All right, third time's the charm. Here we go.
In search of a modest yet spectacular vessel fit for me to minister and conduct the wonderful works of our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ.
Why, sir, a Ferrari would be a fine vehicle for that scam.
I understand that you are the one with whom I am to be speaking with. Oh, we used with at the beginning and the end. You don't end a sentence with a preposition. Oh, gosh. Anyway, to assist and aid me in my endeavors. I thank you in advance. With that being said, I would love to extend an immediate, direct, all-cash offer of $50,000 for your 2004 Ferrari 360 Spider, depending on test drive and inspection. I graciously look forward to hearing from you, Brother Thomas. Blessings,
Scam.
healing, and abundance in Jesus Christ.
Scam.
Prince so-and-so.
Prince. So so much scam. But also, how can you offer $50,000 on this wondrous 360, and then also say test drive and inspection, please? Like that's ridiculous. That's
Under
all
the
so ridiculous.
Ministry.
So Tyler,
is that the thing?
Yes.
It's not a scam.
What?
This
is
a real email from a real client.
Oh, so they're like being for cereals.
This is for serious.
They're serious. Oh my god.
I know. You are all 100% scam.
Because it's just so.
This came up on a previous podcast when Stephen Dumperth from Porsche Beechwood was on, because we've gotten emails from this Prince before, and Stephen goes, "Oh no, that guy's awesome. I sold him a car." So we had a Porsche Boxster that this Prince gave us a bunch of lowball offers on. We finally wholesaled it to Porsche Beechwood, and Steven ended up selling that car to this guy.
What?
He is for real. He's like a motivational speaker, sells CDs or whatever of his teachings.
Brother Thomas.
My
Look
goodness.
at that guy.
He's trying to record from a Ferrari over here and give him
That's
a little
a good deal.
recorder box.
Yeah.
Good deal.
Yeah. So with that in mind, then the game began, okay, how do I respond to this guy?
Sure. Did you respond?
I did. There's a number of possible responses. How about you pray about that offer some more?
Good.
Better call Jesus up, see if he can spot you the extra 65 grand.
I like that. That's good.
I hope you believe in miracles, because otherwise you're not getting the car for that price.
Also good.
How did you come up with that value? The Kelly Good book? My actual response. Prince. Proverbs 11:24-25. One person gives freely, yet gains even more. Another withholds unduly, but comes to poverty. A generous person will prosper. Whoever refreshes others will be refreshed. Just think how much your Lord and Savior will bless you should you choose to be more generous in your offer for the Ferrari we have. What about 120 grand or even 125? I can assure you that as fellow brothers, we will be wise stewards of the funds entrusted to us. Signed, Brother Doug.
Brother Doug.
That is the best possible response,
honestly,
that you could have given.
Yeah, that's perfect.
I have to commend that. That is fantastic.
So he upped his offer from 50 to 60.
Hey-o!
60,000 financed. He went from 50 cash to 60,000 finance total in all caps. Blessings, healing, and abundance in Jesus Christ. Oh, also serious buyer. Yes, he's a serious buyer. So, how should I respond to that?
Oh,
Could do it right here.
Ooh,
I gotta say,
chat.
at least the needle's moving in the right direction. But my goodness, he's gonna have to move a little bit faster than that.
Oh my goodness! Wow.
I'm thinking, like, unfortunately, that offers not enough abundance for us. I don't know. Any suggestions? Throw them in the chat. We might respond here. And
I'm not sure if we want to leave this up to. Well, I mean, we could. It'll be
Well, I mean,
entertaining.
yeah, good engagement.
you leave
right?
things up to the public. You might have your yacht named Bodie McBoatface.
Yeah, which is a great name for a boat.
So I looked up. Apparently, my brother in Christ is a I don't know, slang term, whatever. But there's a meme, and the first result on Google are people are using the phrase "my brother in Christ" to connote friendly condescension with a polite and pious flair, pointing out their peers' problems with Christ-like respect.
Were you with us in Rhode Island last year when there was a 944 S2 cab with some wild boxy side skirts, and our friend Bailey from Texas was
yeah.
like, "My brother in Christ."
He was
side skirts.
very
Yeah.
excited about that car.
He said it
He
so
did say, "My
perfectly,
brother in
though.
Christ."
With that
Yes.
condescension, it was perfect.
Well, I think this prince is pointing out my problems with the price on the car with Christ-like respect, I guess.
So he wants the brother discount, right? Like the brother in Christ
Right.
discount.
This has
So-
gotta be
so-
more than the
brother
right,
in Christ
I will
discount.
say, so with that, there's a guy who I greatly respect, who I worked with, still continue to work with, and he told me that whenever people like try and nickel and dime him for like the brother rate on something, he always says, well, look, the like brother in Christ rate would be like you pay me 150 times what I'm asking for because you want to bless me, and he's wishing blessings and healing and all this amount. Like,
That's
what about
kinda how I
financial
responded to
blessings?
the prince.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So I love your response. I think that's the best possible response you could have had.
Yeah. I was hoping for a little more juice out of his final response, but anyway, wasn't to be. Okay, golly, we're just about out of time. We are going to hold the Shrewd Negotiator. We had a good one. We're going to have to bump that to next week. So we got to catch up on the appraiser
Yes.
quickly as possible. The appraiser is where Tyler and I guess values on auction cars and see how far off we are, because we're not very good at this, even though I'm in theory a professional. So I had a 2008 Boxster limited edition, bright friggin' RS orange, Canadian spec. I don't remember how many miles on it, but anyway, I guessed 35 grand, and it went reserve not met, so it bid to 31. So I feel pretty good about that, because I feel like the reserve was probably 35. So
I thought I was all like haughty over here because you were like, oh, 35, and it was already at 30. But then
The
there was
first
only
day.
one more bid. Like
Yep.
this car only had 2 bids. Didn't go, and I guess just it's probably the Canadian car situation. Like
it is
just that
and the
import and
steering
dash.
wheel Alcantara and the shifter Alcantara were really like pilly.
Yeah.
They had gorgeous photos, but you can't hide what you can't hide. I will have you know, too, I could have bid it up
You
to
could
get
have.
it closer to my guess. But I
That would have
wanted to
been
play
in bad
fair.
faith, though. I would have been like, who's bid on this? And I start seeing whatever your Cars and Bids username is. Be like, hold on a second.
You wouldn't have figured it out. I use switch cars.
Oh, I was going to say. It would have gone right over my head.
All right. Your car was a 2,400 mile 2002 Ford Windstar LX, American collector icon, and it was for sale for like it was like a
icon.
children's home or something. It was donated to them. The peanut gallery was out in force on this one as well, from complaining about the mileage discrepancies on Carfax to recalls not completed, including one person saying, "Oh, it's not safe to drive."
The amount of people complaining about the recalls in the comments was hilarious. Like, this is what are you trying to road trip this home? Like, what are you trying to do?
Yeah, nobody's going to be driving a 2,400 mile car, but
Talk about needing some seals replaced.
yeah. Yeah, so you guessed 10 grand and it sold for
12 and a half, which both of those numbers are too much.
yeah. Well, and this is why I like picking cheap cars for you, because if you miss by $1,000 or $2,000, it's a big percentage number.
God, I
But
know you're gonna start killing me
You
on
were pretty
this.
close overall. overall. I'll give you props on that. Interestingly enough, coming up in my searches, a 950-mile 1993 Lincoln Town Car Executive also sold on Bring a Trailer recently, and it was triple burgundy, including the Landau roof in burgundy.
Oh, triple
that thing
burgundy.
sold. Did you see it?
No.
Okay, 2,400-mile Ford Windstar, a 950-mile 1993 triple burgundy, Ron Burgundy Lincoln Town Car Executive. What do you think that sold for?
Oh, 15?
17.
No. Whew.
Yeah.
I mean, but honestly, that
I don't
is
know
a
which
way
is a
better car. Period.
I guess.
Then a Windstar? Just about anything's better
Okay.
than a Windstar.
Valid point. Okay, what do you got for me next week?
All right, next week, I'm starting to regret playing maybe softball with you. This is on Bring a Trailer. We've got a 6,000-mile 2015 Aston Martin V8 Vantage GT 6-speed. This car comes to you from Maryland. It is black over black. Does have some modifications. The wheels are modified, but it comes with the stock ones. There's paint protection film. There's the other retuned sports suspension and a quick ratio steering rack. Thank goodness a brake fluid flush was performed in March of 2023.
Clean Carfax?
Yep, clean Carfax, clean title.
Hey, Dan Doucette.
Now, hold on a
How
second.
many of
You
those
can't
did they
do
make in
that.
manuals? 2015 Aston Martin V8 Vantage GT. 6-speed manual. I assume it's a coupe, right?
Yes.
Yes. Around 50. For that year or like total GTs?
Well, so GTs, based on the comments on Bring a Trailer, there was only 100 coupes and 100 convertibles, and it was only a U.S. and Canada car.
Ah, okay. Well, I learned something today.
Look
I
at that.
stopped paying attention to Aston Martins after about 2012.
Maybe I'm not playing softball with you. I was a little worried. I was
That's
like,
a
oh, it's
tough
an
one.
Aston. It's a manual Aston. Doug will appreciate.
It's a V8. It's not a V12.
Looks gorgeous, though.
I'm going to go with 120 grand.
All right, final offer?
No.
Locked in? All
I'm
right.
going to think about it while I read off yours.
Okay, that just gives you time to Google more.
Hold on. Yeah. Let's see. We are super prepared here.
I mean, I am.
Ethan, can we get a question, a live question?
Sure, we can.
Did you not have a car for me?
Nope.
That just
Yes,
means I get
no,
a pass
I did
this
actually.
week. Uh-huh.
3,700
Yep,
mile.
there it is.
Oh wait, no, it's ending in 9 days. It won't be done by next week. Let's go to a live question. Live
Oh
question.
boy, Tyler, hey.
Hey, what's up? What can I do for you,
This
producer? Ethan?
this was a question for Doug, but I feel like you might have a.
Oh,
pretty
you're
good
gonna ask
answer
me
for
a
this one.
question?
Oh yeah, I might as well. You know, Doug's got to sort out some stuff over there.
He's got to catch up on his pre-show prep.
Yeah. Well, he wanted to know if Doug would be willing to pay a ridiculous price for a dream car, even if he should. And we all know what the answer to that
Oh,
is.
God,
but Tyler,
yes.
how about you?
Absolutely. There is like one or two cars I will bankrupt myself for. I don't care who tells me not to, but if they ever come up for sale, I will ruin my life to have
Really?
these cars. 100%.
The pros really outweigh the cons that much.
Oh yeah, and they're just so unbelievably rare that
Yeah,
like
sure.
I just
What-
and
what-
look, they're
what
not
is-
like $500,000, but still
Sure.
I would
What is-
make
what
some
is the
poor
car?
decisions. A green 996 GT3.
In the interior,
Well, that part doesn't matter.
doesn't matter.
They're
No.
black.
There's
Which is
only
fine.
like 3 of them, so he can't.
Yeah,
pick.
there's not many, but the green 996 GT3, if one came up for sale, I'd do whatever I could. I'd sell all my cars. I'd get whatever loan I had to. That car will be, because that car's going to die with me, pretty much.
There's the answer.
So,
Ferrari F50. Okay, the vehicle I picked for you much earlier in the week when I was prepping for the
Yes.
show is, and I'm picking this because I like them, 2006 Range Rover Sport Supercharged. They call it a launch edition. It's not really the case. It is the Vesuvius Orange
Ooh,
with the
yes.
20-inch Stormer wheels, black interior. There are very few of these left that are anywhere near halfway clean. Clean Carfax, 92,000 miles, and it's that awesome orange sunset gold whatever. Yeah, that's about all you need. It has not had the air suspension converted to coilovers, which is something you probably should do, but looks like it's been taken really good care of.
So these look so good in orange.
Yes, they do.
Oh, my goodness. The problem is I have no idea what these are worth at all.
Sweet.
So I'm going to hazard a guess and say 35. Yep, nope, that's high. Isn't it? That's real high. Is this going to go for like 15, Doug?
Well, I don't know because it's so clean. It might go nuts just because there aren't any. This might be the only one that's ever sold on Bring a Trailer. Okay, so you're at 35 for the Range Rover. I got to think about my 2015 V8 Vantage GT. Okay.
Yeah, where would you be on this?
What did I say? 120?
Yeah.
I think I'm good there. I think, yeah. Because you could almost buy a V12 Vantage coupe for that, but a late model Vantage GT should carry a premium 6,000 miles. I don't know. I might be a little high, but whatever.
I think I'm probably a lot high based on your reaction.
Yep.
Yikes. All right, this is where my streak ends. This is when I lose the game.
That's all right. It's all right.
Probably won't be as bad as your Century hearse, though.
Ooh,
So.
get him.
Wow.
Get him.
Can't help it when cars go for world records. Dan, how far off am I on the 2015 Aston Martin on a guess?
I remember actually watching this auction. I forget what it
Quickly, because you're not on mic.
He's thinking.
I feel like it went for like
He feels like it went for 60 or 70 or 80.
Awesome. So I'm way off.
Really that cheap, Dan?
Okay.
All right, we both suck.
Yep.
Let's
Told you I
go.
stopped paying attention after like 2012 to Aston Martins. Okay, props and flops brought to you by Switch Cars. We have the flops for next week. That is our guesses on the auctions.
Yes.
Let's see. Go fire
Switch
away,
Cars
Tyler.
is the enthusiast dealership where we buy, sell, consign, service, and store only cars that we like ourselves. So check out our handpicked inventory at switchcars.com. And our pick of the week from Switch Cars inventory is...
It is a 1966 Ford Mustang Fastback. It is friggin' gorgeous. It is ivy green with white stripes. It is essentially a GT350 clone, but with a lot of modernized stuff. Don't call it a resto mod because it doesn't really look modern, but it has a Ford Racing 363 crate engine, over 500 horsepower, fully built internals, forged steel crankshafts, forged steel I-beam connecting rods. Sounds like they're building a friggin' bridge. Mahle forged pistons, yada, yada, yada. Tremec 5-speed transmission, modern clutch linkage, Ford Motorsport aluminum drive shaft. The list goes on. It sounds mental. It looks awesome, and it's just super cool.
God, it's so cool.
Yeah. Yeah. So that one's going to be on our website soon. Inquire within if you are interested. Our flop of the week, an Aston Martin DB9 in Portland, Maine, was posted on Wrecked Exotics with a demolished front end. The caption, quote, "Swerved out of the way of a crazed gerbil running around on the road."
A gerbil? Aren't gerbils small?
Yes. Well, a lot of people smoke weed in Portland.
Ah, I see.
So it's very highly probable that the crazed gerbil didn't exist.
There's no way a gerbil is running around in the streets. That just seems wild.
I mean, that
to me.
also could happen in Portland, Maine, but it's
Also
more highly
valid,
likely
yeah.
that it was in his head. But there's a public service announcement for all people, because I can't tell you the number of cars I've seen on Wrecked Exotics that was swerved out of the way of X animal and then like flipped, lost control, car blew up in flames, yada, yada, yada. I'm like, none of that is worse. No, all of it is worse than just running into the stinking deer. Like a moose, yeah, okay, you swerve for that.
Sure.
But the rest of them, you just friggin' run over them. Grab your stinking vegan non-leather steering wheel, grip it hard.
That's right.
Close your eyes and just...
Okay, maybe don't close your eyes.
Well,
You're driving.
if you're bracing for, we have a mutual friend. I don't even know if you know who it is, but they hit a horse at one point.
What?
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah, man.
Where's this going?
That's the whole story.
That's the whole story.
They hit a horse.
Oh,
yeah.
they hit a horse. I thought you said they had a horse. I'm like, cool.
No, that story sucks. My story's good.
We had a mutual friend. They had a horse.
Yeah. That's awesome, man. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, they nailed a horse, man. Like you
Ethan
think hitting
Huffnagel,
horses-
everybody.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you. Be here all week.
Prop of the week.
This is why he's the producer.
The Nissan Altima is going to be discontinued.
Oh,
Womp womp.
R.I.P. Big Altima energy.
If I had anything
Right.
left in my glass, I'd pour it out.
I know. So, what vehicle do we think is going to take its place as the king of the heap for credit challenged buyers, multiple daddy, baby mamas, drama queens, those looking to commit crimes, et cetera, expired temp tags?
Producer Ethan, didn't you coin Sorrento moment on a recent
That
trip?
was a Bailey Walton thing.
Was it?
I don't think they
Yeah.
made enough of those.
Oh, that's true.
I feel like it's
Sorrento
something
moment,
already
though.
in the running, like a Mopar product, maybe.
It's going to be like a base 300. Do they
Yeah.
make base 300s anymore?
I don't know. Chrysler 200? Well, they stopped making those. Yeah, so
Chrysler.
that is the question. Everybody asks us questions. That's our question to the viewers. What vehicle do you think is going to take over for the Nissan Altima?
We got a few guesses already.
Oh, we do.
We got Dodge Dart, Dodge Journey. We got a.
I said Mopar.
You did.
Come on.
There you go. There you go. Yeah.
All right. Well, this ends the normal segments of our show, and we're going to jump into Tip Talk afterwards. So if you have questions, fire them into the chat, and we'll do a bonus round of live discussion with our viewers. For the rest of you, thank you for joining us. Thank you to our sponsors, Boxcast, Nuts for Sticks, Switch Cars, Celebrity Machines, Parallel Printworks, and Stephen Home Woodworking. Our bumper music is provided by Emily and Ivory. You can stream the full album on Spotify or SoundCloud. This episode will be available next Monday in audio format wherever you listen to podcasts. Head over to switchcast.live to find out where you can stream our podcast and catch up on old episodes. Thank you for listening, and we'll see you next Wednesday at 8 p.m. as we look forward to edifying, educating, and entertaining you on the drive of your life.
All right. Well,
Yeah.
I love the
there's-
Dodge Dart answer. That was pretty good.
there's actually a few more that have come in. We have refresh my ride says Hyundai Elantra.
That's a good guess.
Ooh, yeah.
A used Ram 2500.
Rams exhibit a lot of energy.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Also points out that a Sentra, a new Sentra, is about the same size as older Altimas. So
True.
yeah, it's like
keep it in the family.
younger brother. Yeah, keep it in the family. Exactly. So who knows? Who knows what it's going to be? Also, refresh my ride points out that Ram 2500 owners have the highest rate of DUIs.
Yes, that is
Is that
correct.
actually,
I
okay.
that's
There
a,
you go.
that's a thing. That's a thing.
Wow.
I
All right.
I mean, just Mopar in general. This is we called it.
Yeah. There was a question that came in on TikTok that I said we would get to. Yeah, okay. So the same one who mentioned the Sentra asks Tyler specifically. Well, he asks the 996 owner.
Ooh, that's me.
Cool.
He says,
I'm gonna
"Is
go
that
get a drink?
yeah,
like, I'm
no,
out.
That's good."
Is it about the IMS bearing?
No, he asks if there's any car that you would replace within that price range of your specific 996. Would you be willing to replace it with something of a comparable price?
My personal answer is no.
There you go.
But
What about a Corvette C5?
Absolutely not.
What about a Corvette C6?
Still no.
What about a Corvette C4?
Dan Doucette suggested a
Corvette pace car.
Yeah, the 98 pace car, the purple with the
Yes.
yellow. Still no. I love that car, but The problem is though, I don't know if they're asking because they're maybe trying to think about something that price range. Like it can be expensive to maintain properly. So like, be warned of that. It's not doing me any favors, but I love it. So
I would replace it with a different car. I would replace it with a 996 with not gray interior.
hey, I respect that. More for me. And the like 5 other people who will want the car when I'm ready to sell it.
Man. Okay, Jake Jones has asked this. He's been with us the entirety of the show, so thank you for that. Opinions of the Skyline R32 versus the R33.
The R33 is better looking.
100%. Have you driven either of them, Doug?
Nope.
I'll say I haven't either.
So my opinion is pretty
Yeah.
invalid.
Sorry, Jake.
R33 is way better looking.
Dan.
I prefer
R32.
Why? Dan prefers the R32. Why? You like the design. Well,
I haven't driven any.
taste is a matter of beauty is in the eye of the beer holder. That's what it is. Yes. So
Oliver's with a Z. Catfish Camaro thoughts?
yeah. I hope you. Well, people ask me about cars and then they're like, "I own one."
Yeah.
And I'm like, the interior of that era was so bad. It was so bad. GM 90s and early to mid 2000s. And I have a Corvette of that era. I fully agree that it lumps in with that. But the steering wheel on those cars was the worst ever.
Was it leather? Was that why?
No, maybe. It's just the proportions of the interior didn't work. It was 90s GM. Just, it was bad. Yeah. I like the first gen, like before the Catfish. I like that exterior style. But, yeah, the interior was tough.
Is the Catfish the, like, what is it, 4th gen? It's whatever before the Bumblebee one, right?
Yes, because then they stopped making it, and then they brought back.
Yeah.
Yes.
That also had a good pace car with the, like, white and black seats with the triple colored stripy situations.
I think that was previous to the Catfish. So that was the, what do they call those?
Is that like a shark nose or something like that?
Yes, I think so.
Okay.
Yeah. That was the crazy pace car. Would you buy one of those instead of your 996?
Instead of my 996? Absolutely not.
Speaking of that,
The
we got
engine's in
another
the wrong
question. We got another question for you and your 996. Tyler, would you
All right.
consider a BMW M3 with 8-cylinder compared to 996?
That is a
M3.
very good question because I love those M3s.
Mm-hmm.
If I wasn't such a Porsche guy, probably. I don't think you can make a wrong choice between the two of them, I got to say.
M3
good one.
slides better. You can do smoky burnouts. You can't do that in the 996. Do you even have a limited slip differential?
I don't know. You couldn't on the 996, actually.
What do you mean you couldn't? It was
only an
it was
option.
option code 220.
Not on normal ones, I don't think. I thought it was only on the 40th anniversary.
No,
We've had this discussion.
You could get option code 220 on a 996.
And we'll fight about this later. I'm gonna Google it.
We don't need to fight about it. I'm a Porsche expert.
Certified.
I know the friggin' option code off the top of my head.
You
think
do.
I'm wrong?
I swear we've had this discussion though. That it was like only the 40th anniversary had an
Okay.
LSD.
While Tyler's looking up how wrong he is, let's get to another question.
Refresh my ride. Thoughts on the SRT6?
The Chrysler Crossfire SRT6?
I would imagine.
Or should I not call it a Crossfire? Is that like the SRT4 where you can't call it a neon? That's all you're...
I don't know.
Sorry,
I mean,
I'm asking a
that's
car guy question to a non-car guy.
It's a question for
Ethan's
him.
the producer. He has no idea what a neon SRT4 is.
Yeah, no.
I think they're pretty cool. They're kind of an unloved car. I almost bought a base Crossfire the other day. I mean, it's basically a Mercedes SLK, but with different styling, arguably better. Chrysler's styling of that era was pretty cool, hip, retro, nostalgic. I don't know what you want to call it, but I always kind of liked the Crossfires. They weren't exceptionally fundamentally good cars, but I don't know. I think it's a cool car, and there's a lot of car for the money since nobody else wants them.
Did you find anything?
Oh yeah, I did. Cars with the PSM can't. Like only the early 99s and then the 40th anniversary had an LSD as an option because of their stability management. They couldn't actually have it. So like two very specific versions of the 996 could have an LSD.
What was Porsche doing?
Oh, I don't know. I think it's kind of dumb.
I mean, they're hailed as this great automotive manufacturer, but you can't put stability control and limited slip differential in your flagship car.
Early 2000s were a wild time. Computers and stuff, I guess. I don't know.
You also see what I did there, right? I deflected from the fact that I was wrong to make
I
fun of a
did.
giant corporation.
It's good.
How they were wrong.
Mike asks, thoughts on the move towards slimmer headlights?
It would be fine if they weren't also doing giant radiators
Yeah.
in most cars. It also looks funky on, well, EVs in particular, but also Aston Martins and cars where they're like where they're doing the opposite and just have like no front grille. So it looks like the car's squinting. I almost said something that would have, that Ethan would have not liked
that would've
due
been
to
bad.
monetization restrictions, but
Yes. But yes, squinting is fine. Shane Miles, Doug. Boy, here we go. Here we go. This is
WJD.
210 versus
Oh, I should respond to the Prince, just WWJD. No, WWJP. What would Jesus pay?
what would Jesus pay? Jesus paid it all.
Oh, no, that's the response.
Yeah.
That's the response, man. Jesus paid it all, and you only want to pay half? Come on.
It's good. Oh, heavens.
Producer Ethan, ladies and gentlemen.
Hold on.
That
I'm
was
typing it as we speak.
Doug
This
thing.
is real response to real customers.
Oh, chat, you're going to see this interaction happen live here. For the people who just joined, they're like, what in the earth is happening with Switch
Also, who
cars
is
right
just joining during Tip Talk, too? They're like real late.
You'd be surprised.
you're
man.
here,
You'd be
but
surprised. It's because we
please don't
start
leave.
engaging more. Yeah. While Doug is doing that,
For those of you listening, if
Tyler.
you've ever seen the cat gif of like furiously typing, that's what Doug's doing right
Doug
now.
is in the zone. So back to Tyler. We got another 996 question.
I'm
for
loving
you.
all of this.
Yeah. User 87335007911475 is a big fan.
I say, is this all the same person asking these questions?
Yes. Yeah. It's user
Love it.
87335. Have you ever driven a 996 with an
That was me after sending the email.
with an LS conversion?
No, and I would for science, but I'm pretty sure I would dislike it. There's something intoxicating about the way a flat six sounds, and putting a Corvette engine in it ruins the car, in my opinion.
Would you ever put a flat six engine in a Corvette?
I think that would be hilarious. If I had a bunch of money, yes, just to piss people off.
Would you take it to a Corvette show and convince them that it was factory installed and how it was the
yes.
rare prototype Corvette?
Because they were trying to compete with Porsche. Absolutely. That would be amazing. I would do it with a 98 pace car. Purple and a flat six. Let's
Somebody
go.
buy a lottery ticket for Ethan so that he can do this.
Ethan.
Tyler.
That's Tyler.
Yeah.
Yes.
I'm Ethan.
And Ethan can get a Murano cross cab.
I
There
would
it
buy
is.
if I won the lottery, Ethan, I would buy you a Murano cross
I
cab.
thought we'd go the whole episode without talking about
Nope.
cross cabs.
No.
Foolish me.
Do you know how many people in the last What Did Everyone Drive to the podcast thing,
Yes.
where I shamelessly made fun of you
I know
again.
exactly. Yeah.
I didn't
can't
even
fault you
bring
for
up
that.
cross cab, and so many people were like, "He should keep it in the family. Buy a cross cab. Ethan should buy a cross cab."
It's a fair point. It's tempting. I'm sorely tempted.
You could let the wind go in your beautiful locks, and
Yeah.
wave as you drive by.
And
the
when I'm
Corvette
not paying
curmudgeon.
money to Gates Mills municipality, I'll be paying
Allegedly.
money to get my top fixed. But Doug, W10 versus W210 versus W211 E55 AMG. Have you had one in inventory?
Yes, we have. We've had W210. I don't think I've had a 211, but I prefer the 210 styling hands down. It's quintessential Mercedes-Benz for me. I like the round headlights. My wife hates them. I tried to buy her one of those, but she had no interest, so we have a 212 instead. But yeah, I think that the 210 is like peak AMG. I would love a 2001, 2002 E55.
Ooh.
In fact, if I was to do the Cannonball back in that era, that's what I would have picked. gas mileage would have sucked.
Uh-huh.
But, yeah, that's what it would have taken.
That's good to know.
They don't have a limited slip differential either, though.
I feel like that's a little bit more excusable.
No, it's less excusable because that's a torque monster, and you should be able to just do just rolling smoky burnouts. 996 isn't supposed to do those things.
That's true.
So,
DOA Garage on YouTube says, guilty pleasure. What car are you embarrassed to admit you love, but love anyway?
Honda Odyssey.
Hold up.
Wait, that's
Really?
That's a really good one.
Have you ever taken a road trip?
A couple.
In a big plush minivan.
It's comfortable.
You take out the center seats or don't. You have 8 adults in there, and nobody's
Wait, what?
wondering, asking for a hand check or anything. You've all got your space. It's just.
I mean, I've taken a road trip in a Ford Flex, which is just a gigantic, SUV minivan.
Don't call it a wagon.
Did you do
Child.
it with a bunch of adults who were asking for a hand check?
No,
though?
actually, it was with
Okay.
my
No,
family.
I'm saying
So-
you don't have to
Mistake.
because you all have your space.
Yeah. Right.
And
Who's Doug trying to get a hand check with? What's going on? In a Honda
no,
Odyssey.
look, man, a minivan's
there's 2 Honda Odysseys
incredibly.
that have incredible cross-country Cannonball times, too.
I didn't know 2.
2, yes.
Okay.
Both sub 32 hours.
It's pretty good.
So to
really
the
good.
Big body
question,
salami is just trying
the
to do
question
35.
earlier. Yeah, I was gonna say
Yeah.
they can do below 35 easy. If a Honda Odyssey can do it in 32.
Well, we don't know they were Honda Odysseys. What were they?
They were Honda Odysseys.
Oh, they were Honda
Yes.
Odysseys. Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Did they fill them with big fish tanks of fuel?
One of them had it in the trailer hitch thing that you would attach a bike rack to or whatever. They had a cargo thing in their trailer hitch, but it was just a giant tank of fuel.
God, that is sketchy. Oh my Lord.
But they had a porta potty in the back of the thing, and they'd go back and use the bathroom mid-drive.
Same rules as a tour bus though. No dumps.
No dumps.
Got to go out the window.
Similar to that, very similar to that question, user 8733, says, what car are you embarrassed to be seen in but has great performance?
Definitely not a Honda Odyssey.
Great performance.
I mean, I would be embarrassed to be seen in a Honda Odyssey. The V6 is pretty quick.
I don't accept this.
That's good.
Yeah. I don't know that I'm really embarrassed to be seen in anything. I'm not in high school anymore. And yeah. I mean, maybe a Mazda Miata.
Embarrassed to be seen in a Mazda Miata?
Not embarrassed per se, but just oh, it's not cool or rare or whatever. Oh, you're driving a Miata.
This is where the Switchcast ends, ladies and gentlemen. Doug just said Miatas weren't cool.
Yeah,
But
that's
they
tough.
have great performance. I said they don't have cool perception.
Okay. I got you.
What about an
for a-
Eclipse?
I'm sorry, did Eclipses have good performance?
No, I'm asking, would you be embarrassed to be seen in an
Well,
Eclipse?
the caveat was the car had
was
to
it
have
has
good
had a
performance.
good performance? Sure,
Yeah, no,
yeah.
it didn't. So front wheel drive.
Such a visible, angry at the premise of that question. Okay, this one's maybe quick.
I
I
kind
don't
of
know.
want to know Tyler's answer to that. What car
Oh,
would
yeah.
you be embarrassed to be seen in?
I don't.
Corvette C4 pace car.
No, well, okay. The purple C5 pace car I'd be happy to be seen in because I know it would look ridiculous. But just about any other Corvette pace car, I think I'd be embarrassed to drive. The 98 pace car is so
ironic
outlandish.
because that one's the most embarrassing.
Oh, I know, and I think that's why I like it. And I saw it a lot as a kid, so there's the nostalgia thing. So I'd be yes, I look ridiculous, but I'm owning it. Any other Corvette pace car, though, I would probably want to wear sunglasses and a big hat and just hide.
Okay.
I don't want to detract from YouTube. How are we with is there
It's
stuff in there? It is
9:29.
9:29.
Yeah,
So we got one more
gotta
question.
pick
here.
the one or two best ones.
No, I got one more question from YouTube, I think.
Shane Miles on YouTube asks, any bad title transfer stories?
Bad title transfer stories. We
Yeah.
don't have enough time.
next week on Switchcast.
Yes, I do. Yes, I do. Police were involved. They may get told on VinWiki this weekend, actually. I'm going down to Atlanta, and there's a Cannonball or storytelling weekend marathon down at VinWiki. So, yes, that's the answer to your question. Yes, you can ask some other time. What were they?
Well,
You got
we're
one
doing
more,
another
you good?
question.
I
No,
didn't
no.
know if you had a real good one you wanted to throw in.
No,
Last
but
one.
I mean, not a necessarily. Okay, sure. Refresh my ride. Who's been with us the whole time? Thank you. What is the budget version of the F139 V8?
What's an F139 V8? Is that a BMW power plant? No, I don't know all this. F136 is a Ferrari engine. Maserati Quattroporte is M139.
He says Ferrari.
What is the budget? Would that be the Ferrari 430 engine?
I don't know. We can take.
What is the budget version of it? It'd be the Ferrari 360 engine.
Ferrari 360 engine? There's the answer here. Here's a quick one. Have you seen the LS mail truck? They're decommissioning them soon, and it's an S10 frame.
Haven't they been being decommissioning them forever? Like the Grumman mail trucks? Because they were horrendously unreliable, but they kept using them and kept using them and kept using them. Our local mail delivery lady has one that I swear is going to die every time she goes up the hill in front of our house. It sounds so bad. But yeah, people are doing all sorts of cool stuff with those things.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I haven't seen the LS mail truck, but I've seen some other pretty cool mods with those Grumman mail trucks.
Do you see that Rivian was doing Amazon trucks for a while? They were commissioned to build them out.
I saw about the contract. Did they ever finish them?
I have no idea.
I've seen one in person, but I could not tell you where. It was in a city somewhere.
I feel like maybe I saw one too at one point.
I've seen at least one.
Interesting. I'm very curious to see where that goes. But
And then
anyway,
the other
cool.
Doug on YouTube did a video on one.
Oh, he did. That's
Yeah.
right. He did do that.
The
Other
other
Doug. Yeah. All right. Cool. Great.
Thank you.